Okay, so thank you everyone for attending our induction webinar, for taking an hour and a half at the most out of your evening for this. My name is Parveen, and I'll give a bit more of an introduction to myself and the team who will be speaking to you tonight. Okay, so today we are going to start off with a welcome from Dr. Marcus Mehta. He's our head of community, and he'll introduce himself in a moment. I realize I haven't introduced myself, so I'll do that first. So my name is Parveen. My picture is up in the top corner there. I head up our courses team, so all of the operations that happen behind the scenes to get you guys through your course comes from our courses team, which I'll introduce in the next slide. But myself, I oversee the team sort of from the strategic operational perspective, and the team are the one that you'll be interacting with. So we'll introduce them in a little bit. Then we'll go on to the Foundation Day. What is it and what to look forward to? So I appreciate that some of you have already done this, but thank you for joining. There's still a lot of great information to come from this. And so the next stage is going to be about your practical training, and Charlie will take you through that. And then we'll talk about assessment and, what's involved, as well as a short story from Reem telling you about the different pathways you can look forward to once you finish your qualification. And then lastly, we'll finish with a Q&A session. All right, so here is the team. So we started off with myself. I've told you a bit about me. You might be confused a bit by my accent. I'm from Canada, so you're definitely in the right place here with us. And we have, next is Marcus, who is our head of community. You'll be hearing from him in a little bit. Next, you'll have a little chat from Gabrielle Tuesday, and she's going to take you through your Foundation Day journey. Next, we have Charlie Cunningham, and he's going to take you through all of your practical training needs and requirements. And then last, from your course perspective, you'll hear from Ben, the last stage of the process, which is assessment. And then Reem, who is our administrator, will tell you a little bit more about other sort of next steps after your qualification. And we'll have a wrap-up and Q&A, like I said. So let me just take a moment to pass this on to Marcus now.
Good evening, guys. So my name is Dr. Marcus Mehta, and I am head of the Level 7 community. And we're here basically tonight just to give you a little bit of an overview about not just the academic side of it, but also the community side of it. We're really passionate at Harley Academy about being inclusive of not only your academic injectable learning, but also to cover the fact that you feel supported from a business point of view as well and getting started. So our community essentially is over different social media platforms. So we've got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So if you don't already, if you can follow us on those platforms, that would be great. On all of those platforms, we have a lot of information about getting started, a lot of industry regulation update, and just generally keeping up to date with what's going on in the office and how we can support you further. If you do take any photos during your training, so we really encourage you when you're especially down at the academy, there's loads of opportunities to take photos during your training. Please use the hashtags, #Harley Academy and #Harley Trained. So the next slide is all about Guild Clinic. So Guild Clinic essentially is the first ever clinic brand that offers treatments that span from the training price, which is the patients actually you'll be treating, and then also right up to full price treatments. So it's kind of an amalgamation of both of those types of treatment. And actually it's a clinic that we've put together that operates out of the academy in Moorgate at the moment, that allows you to be able to treat patients under supervision during your mentoring days, but it also means that if you wanted to, as one of our students, one of our Level 7 or aesthetic medicine specialty training students, you can have treatment yourself. So often a lot of our students do want treatment, partly to find out what it feels like, and also when they're talking to patients, they'll often ask, have you had Botox? What do you think of it? And you can have treatment yourself at half the price that we'd offer at training. So that would actually be £75 for 3 areas of Botox, or £75 for 1 ml of filler. We also encourage you to bring your own patients for mentoring. So if you do have a few patients, often when people start and you've done your one-day course, you probably get loads of people message you saying, can I come to you for treatment? So if you do, that's fine. You can bring them actually along to the mentoring to be supervised whilst you inject them. And it can be a really good way for you to learn, because it allows you to be able to follow the patient up. So you can see them in a couple of weeks after their treatment and sort of see how things have got on. If you wanted to do that, it's really important that when you do book your mentoring day, make sure that you message mentor at Harley Academy, just to ensure that we know that you're going to be able to bring a patient, and then the patient can call the office line or the normal number for the Guild Clinic and book in as usual. And that's something we really encourage. And again, we also have social media hashtags for this. So it's hashtag #MyGuildJourney and hashtag Guild Clinic for that. So with the community itself, we have loads of ways that we encourage our students to be a part of what we're doing in the aesthetic sector. So we encourage our students to write blog journals. So you can see here on the website, we have My Journey to Becoming an Aesthetics Practitioner, which is by one of our GPs that trained with us as a level 7 student and now actually works as one of our trainers and mentors. And we really encourage active participation in that sense. So if you are interested in getting involved, not just from a training point of view, but also feel like, you wanted to write some articles as you kind of go through your training, then get in touch with me. So I'm Marcus@harleyacademy.com, and we can facilitate that and allow you to be able to publish some work as well in the aesthetic sector. So the level 7 itself, like I mentioned at the start, we're really passionate about it not just being about you having your e-learning, you coming for your mentoring and doing your exams. There's so much else that we offer at Harley Academy, and a lot of it actually is more about getting to know the people you're training with. Because aesthetics is such a small world, actually, when you start training, you will see the same faces at conferences, the same faces at training days, and actually that's something we encourage you to sort of to network. So we run certain events throughout the year. So on a monthly basis, approximately, we run networking events at the academy. We also run these events as well in different places. If we're at conferences, we'll encourage you to come and to be at our stand and places like that. We also have really good clinical support for the students. So if you have a problem with a patient that you're treating outside of mentoring, so you've set up your own private business and you've got a worry or a concern, you can always get help with any of those patients. So we have a dedicated medical faculty that deals with any of your problems that you might have with your patients. And all you need to do is either you can post on our online forums. So at the moment, that's a Facebook forum, but you can also just message me if you wanted to keep it more private. So again, it's Marcus@harleyacademy.com. And we'll be able to help you and guide you the best way we can when it comes to any clinical problems you might have. Now, business support. This is a massive part for a lot of new people starting in the industry. They really, really struggle with. We can train you as medical professionals to be great injectors, but actually one of the things that people often struggle with a lot is setting up, getting started, finding a location, and marketing. So we run business events throughout the calendar, and this is something that we'll continue to do, and we'll let you know through either the Facebook forum or through emails as well. As I keep mentioning, the online forum side of our course is really important. So if you're not already, the Facebook Level 7 group is the place that you will need to join. So if you just go on Facebook and put in Harley Academy Level 7 Injectables, you'll be able to join the group there or request to join, and we can approve you. And on there, we often discuss clinical case studies, and we get a lot of regular industry updates and things like that. So it's a really, really good place to be a part of. In regards to benefits and perks from the course, so we do insurance discounts. So this is with the insurance company Hamilton Fraser. So we offer 10% off your insurance policy if you mention Harley Academy. So give them a call. Again, if there's any problems with that, please just get in touch with me. And we also give you access to the Joint Council of Cosmetic Practitioners. Now, the JCCP is the new body, the new sort of industry regulators for the aesthetic sector. And we're very much behind the sense of they are looking to improve patient safety through training. So the Level 7 with Harley Academy is the only accredited Level 7 qualification that gets you onto the JCCP register. But you can also join the register as a trainee for £50 a year if you mention you're with Harley Academy, which is a really significant discount off the usual prices of around £400.
All right, thank you very much, Marcus. That was a great overview of the Level 7. I'm going to dive in a bit more now about the course itself. So how does the Level 7 work? Obviously, all of you lovely people have signed up, so well done. Some of you have attended your Foundation Day, and now you are attending your Induction Day / Induction Webinar. And today we're going to tell you how each of these segments work. So the Foundation Day is a one-day course that everyone has to do in order to get insurance and be able to legally practice in aesthetics. And your next stage with the Level 7 is your Observation Day, where you'll watch treatments happen, and mentoring days where you'll actually do the treatments under supervision in a one-to-one setting. So one trainer, one patient, one student. You'll see along the bottom here we have a long line that says e-learning, and that is meant to indicate that you can access that e-learning and should be accessing it frequently throughout your studies. It's not meant to be something that you review at the end. Think of it as your textbook, except it's online, a bit more interactive, and can be accessed at your own leisure. I recommend, well, the rest of the team will recommend to you when to access what modules throughout the course, but just keep that in mind that it's not something to be done at the end of your course. It's meant to be accessed throughout the course. And then lastly, we have our assessment, which is made up of two types of assessments. One is a short answer question, which Ben will go into more detail in a bit, which is a series of short essays. And one is an in-person OSCE, or in-person exam, that lasts about 2.5 hours and will take place in London. After all of that, we will mark all of your work and it gets sent to our external marking body. And once that's all been passed, you will receive your certificate. And that is the overview of the qualification. So let's move on to the foundation day. I'll just pass this over to Gabby.
Thanks, Pauline. So now we're going to be discussing the Injectables Foundation Day specifically. So good evening, everyone. As mentioned before, my name is Gabrielle, and I currently work within the courses team as a Student Support and Events Manager. So my role essentially involves coordinating all of our foundation days, whether it's injectables and cosmetic dermatology, which is the first step in your Level 7 or combined course journey. Additionally, I'm responsible for the coordination of our advanced masterclasses. So in regards to how we'll interact with each other, I'll essentially be the main source of support when it comes down to preparing for and attending your foundation day. That goes down to answering any questions you may have in regards to the day itself, certification, and your next steps. So as most of you are aware, the first step in completing your Level 7 or combined course is attending a foundation day, which provides the grounding you need to understand the initial theory and practice behind dermal fillers and botulinum toxin. That being said, during this section, I'm going to cover specifically the entire foundation day process. This includes what to expect and how to successfully prepare for the day. So, once you've actually successfully booked onto the foundation day with our sales team or on your online account, you will be sent a confirmation email either by myself or one of my colleagues, which informs you on the course date, location, and timings. So our foundation day courses, roughly for injectables, they always start at 10 a.m, but we do ask that our students arrive 15 minutes beforehand just to make sure they're fully prepared and ready to go. So within this confirmation email, you'll be informed that you'll need to complete our foundation day pre-learning. This is essential as it will ensure that you're fully prepared for the day and you'll excel within the practical sessions. So to access your pre-learning, you'll need to do the following steps. You'll need to go onto the HA website and log into your online account as normal, as you would, but then ensure that your profile is up to date, just because if it's not, you might have issues viewing the e-learning. So essentially, when you log in, you might see a profile that says you need to update your name, details, or your address. Don't ignore it, just go through and follow it through, because if you don't, you might have issues actually seeing the pre-learning itself. Once you've made sure everything's up to date, you'll be able to see the following image that's on the slide that says dashboard. Once you click on dashboard, underneath courses, you'll essentially see something that either says Skin Rejuvenation Foundation Day Pre-Learning. That's if you're a combined student. If you're an injectable student only, it will say Injectables Foundation Day Pre-Learning. You'll click on the link, and as you can see on the right-hand side, you'll see the following photo. This is the slide you'll see for the Injectables Foundation Day Pre-Learning. You'll click on this, and then once you go through, you'll be able to sign in and go through all the learning before the day. If you do have any issues accessing your pre-learning, please feel free to contact us on studentsupport@harleyacademy.com, and we'll make sure you'll be able to access it as soon as possible. So the pre-learning itself, it will cover a range of topics such as anatomy, case studies, regulations, and training, and it will be sent to you within the confirmation email. So the foundation day itself. So there'll be lectures on medical aesthetics, managing the consultation, examinations, skin aging, alongside practical sessions, and seeing a live demonstration of a filler and toxin treatment. As this is the first step in your aesthetics journey, and we're advocates for patient safety, I can confirm that on the foundation day for injectables specifically, you will not treat live models, just because we don't think it's suitable. However, we can reassure you that you'll have ample opportunities to hone your injection techniques on our lifelike mannequins. Additionally, you'll be able to treat your models on the mentoring days. Aside from this, you won't need to bring anything with you, as all will be provided, and you'll also be given a slide book which includes lecture notes, diagrams on facial anatomy, and the consultation. There's also additional space to make additional notes throughout the day. I do want to stress to you all that at the back of the slide book, you'll find a helpful competency checklist which lists all the key steps you need to complete treatments for the cheeks, nasolabial folds, marionette lines, and lips. Please use this during your practical sessions and bring it with you to your first mentoring session to use as a reference. Finally, once you've completed your Foundation Day course, you'll receive a certificate of completion from my colleague, Reem, or myself, a starter pack of consumables, and also our new best practice guide. A lot of our students have different aspirations as to why they want to complete the level 7, but quite a lot of them wish to start their own practice one day. The best practice guide will include all core considerations, such as acquiring insurance, what treatments require CQC registration, consenting, how to source stock, and even how to advertise based on the rules of the ASA. These will be sent to you via email as a link after your course. Within this email, you can download the guide and read it as many times as you see fit. In summary, please read the confirmation email and go through the pre-learning in good time. Final thing from me, once you sign up to the level 7, you'll have access to your e-learning, but to help with your studies, I thought it would be useful to share a list of resources that you can use to strengthen your knowledge. These are a few books that I think is worth taking note of. So I provided the following reference list, and just so you know, I'll also send it through email. But one thing I will note is for Richard Pulford Small's book, Changing Faces, this is available right now on Kindle for free, so definitely go and download it. Additionally, I've also listed some general articles of interest that you might find useful when you're starting out. These articles would be useful to read once you've completed your Foundation Day, and you'll find this on the following slide. Perfect. I'm going to send this to you also via email, but definitely have a look through a lot of these because it has case studies on dissolving filler, treating nasolabial folds, and it will pique some of your interest. If you do have any questions for me when it comes to the Foundation Day, whether it's skin or injectables, feel free to pop it into the chat and I'll answer it throughout the webinar.
Yes. The slides will be distributed as well, the reference list and all the resources we do speak about.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Charlie. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the practical training and e-learning that you'll be undergoing as part of the Level 7. So, a little bit about me. You can see myself on the right-hand side there. Effectively, for Harley Academy, I help facilitate the provision of mentoring. I help provide quality assurance for the qualification itself. And additionally, I help provide student support throughout that. So effectively, throughout the majority of your practical training, you'll be interacting with myself, as well as the other student support members of the team here that you'll be speaking to today. But principally for the elements of mentoring and observation days, it will be myself. So I want to tell you about the two types of training that you'll be undergoing as part of the Injectables Level 7. The first part will be the observation days. So you'll be conducting these following on from your Foundation Day. The observation days themselves will consist of yourself and up to 10 students observing one of our registered trainers over the course of an 8-hour day in clinic. These sessions are ones which you can book first. We advise performing your observation days before any of your mentoring sessions. And typically, they're conducted in seminar style where we're able to chat amongst yourselves whilst observing one of our trainers deliver a series of both botulinum toxin and dermal filler injections. Following on from your observation days, you'll then move on to your mentoring sessions. The mentoring sessions are the one-to-one training sessions, and you'll be able to book onto 4 of these. And the reason that we refer to these as sessions as opposed to days is because we run them in 4-hour slots. Typically in the past, we used to run them as 8-hour days, but to be quite honest, at the end of the day, we found that students were getting particularly exhausted. So we tried to make them a bit more flexible. So now we run them in 4-hour training sessions. That being said, we do still run them from in the morning and then in the afternoon. So if you're particularly keen to try and get as much done in one day as possible, then that is still something that you're able to do. So the mentoring sessions themselves, you'll be booking these after your observation days, and this is where you'll get the key brunt of your one-to-one training in a dedicated clinic environment, once again undergoing botulinum toxin and dermal filler training. So I was hoping that I might be able to show you guys some videos following on from this, but just to briefly reflect before we go on, you can see this chart here where we have your observation days, where you're going to be doing your observed training, your mentoring sessions where you'll be performing supervised training, and once again the observation days are at a 10-to-1 ratio with mentoring at 1-to-1, observation days at 8 hours, and the mentoring sessions are 4. You're able to book onto 2 observation days and up to 4 mentoring sessions. So I'm hoping that this video will work for you guys. If not, I will be able to send all of these out at the end, but let's find out. Wonderful. So in order to book into your observation and mentoring days, the first step will be to log onto the website itself. At this point, you're going to be putting in your username and email address. This is the exact same details that you use to book into your foundation day and to access your e-learning, which I'll be going on to later on. I'm afraid you will have to do one of those CAPTCHAs that you've just seen. This is just a security measure. As I'm sure you can imagine, we have a lot of sensitive information, including patient details, on your accounts, so it's important to have that there. Once you've logged on, you're able to hover over the injectables tab at the top, and you can see the observation and mentoring sessions there. If you click on to one of those buttons, it will bring up the relevant page, and on this, you'll be able to see a bio about what you can do, a brief description, what you're going to learn, who the instructors are for the days, and then lastly, at the bottom, you're able to then view the available dates and book using the Book Now button there. What you can see is that price of £0. The reason being, just so you're all aware, is by being members of the Level 7, of course, the cost of these courses is included, so you won't be having to pay anything when you book in for those. So, I wanted to tell you a little bit about your e-learning as well. The e-learning, as my colleague Parveen said earlier, is available for you to use throughout the course itself. It's a fundamental backlog of information for you to access to facilitate your training. The most relevant part where you'll be using it will be the completion of your assessments and your essays, which my colleague Ben will touch on later. But the reason I wanted to bring it up is just to show you, firstly, how to get there in a second, but also just to help encourage you guys to use it as a supplement for the practical training that you'll undergo. The practical training sessions themselves and the mentoring sessions, the one-to-one specifically, we find that students get most out of those training days when they have gone through their e-learning beforehand, particularly the modules on dermal fillers and botulinum toxins. So, more importantly, to show you how to get there, we're going to go to this login page once again, and we're going to bring up the website. From here, you will be on your account page, and you can see these courses tabs, which I'm hovering over currently at the moment. The one that you want is the Injectables Level 7 one. So we're going to click on that, and it will open into a new page. From this new page, you can click the e-learning button in the top left, and this is where you can access all of the learning available to you as part of the Level 7 in Injectables. So the 6 modules are here, and for the purposes of this demonstration, I'll go on to the botulinum toxin module. This will bring up all of the new relevant information for you, and you'll be able to cycle through it as this video will demonstrate. There'll be a brief bit of instruction on how to navigate the module, the learning objectives for each one, and if you do need to exit the course, you can click the bottom left button and it will save all your progress. So that's your e-learning. So, following on from the e-learning and the practical training, the next important thing to consider is the logbook itself. So the logbook or portfolio that you might have heard of is where you're going to document all of the practical training that you will have been completing. So to go back to that table that I was showing you guys earlier on, you can see at the bottom that I have a row called Cases for Logbook. So we have this divided between the 2 types of training sessions. We've got 20 observed cases for your observation days and 20 supervised cases for your mentoring days. So your logbook itself, it consists of 40 cases, 20 observed and 20 supervised. And within each of those 20, you'll have 10 cases in each modality. So 10 supervised botulinum toxin, 10 supervised dermal filler, 10 observed botulinum toxin, and 10 observed dermal filler. To show you a bit more about the logbook, I have one last video for you guys. So we're going to log onto the website once again. And from here, you'll be accessing the logbook using the exact same function that you did to access the e-learning itself. I'm going to click this one down here. It will open in a new tab once again. And this time you're going to click the mentoring tab in the center of the page. This will bring up your logbook where you will be able to review all 40 submissions in this table here. You'll see each one of them with an upload button next to each case that you need to submit. So for this, we're going to click botulinum toxin case 1 observed. It brings up the box in which you need to fill in the relevant information that you will have collected on the training day, including the pre and post photo, and you'll click upload to finish that case. These 40 cases will be completed throughout your practical training, and we advise students to get as much of it done before going on to their assessments. But for now, the key things for everyone to remember are as follows. Remember to take consistent notes for your reflections throughout your training days. Upload those cases promptly. The last thing we want is for cases to be uploaded months and months later, because it just means that the notes that you're going to take, the reflections that you're going to write, they're just not up to scratch. And lastly, prepare properly. Plan your route to get to your mentoring session, arrive early, and brush up on that e-learning in order to ensure you have the best experience possible. Thank you, guys. I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Ben, who's going to tell you a little bit about assessments. But like my colleague Gabrielle said, if you have any questions about any of that, please do write it in the chat. We're logging all of your questions, so we will have time to answer them and go through them at the end. Thank you very much.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Ben Spring. I'm the assessments head here at Harley Academy. I'm also part of the team trying to make this presentation play a little more ball. So apologies again, and thank you to everyone for dealing with the slight mishaps we've been having this evening. Delivering these by the web is a first for us today. And thank you everybody for joining. It's great to see so many of you here. Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you a little about your assessment. Now, you may think that examination is something that's on the far horizon, but we find that giving our students a primer in what they need to know about their exams is a really good way to prepare them for the course ahead. Now, who am I? My name is Ben Spring. I'm the man with the excessive amounts of red hair that you can see there on your screen, and I'm the assessment support and management member of the team. So my key responsibilities are managing your exam seasons and your graduation, making sure that this level 7 that you've set out on is something that you can finish comfortably and in good time, and also assessment support. So if you have any questions about your essays, if you have questions about how your exams work, I'll be on hand to assist you with any of the queries that you might have. Now, as I just said, your exams are a good way away, but it's always a great idea to know what's coming to help your graduation go smoothly. We find that as we teach our students more and more about the exams that they have coming, it helps them be more prepared, helps them finish their level 7 in a timely manner. As such, I'm going to run you through the 3 key assessments that make up the 3 key examinations that make up your assessments. Sorry about that pause, guys. We were just seeing that someone in the chat was reporting some sound issues and wanted to make sure it wasn't affecting everybody. So your 3 key examinations that make up your, thank you, Viewer 27. Your 3 key examinations that make up the assessment package at Harley Academy are your SAQs, that's your short answer questions. It's a series of 34 800-word mini essays. Individually, they are very short, but cumulatively, you're looking at a body of 25,000 to 30,000 words of work. So it's a significant volume of work for which you'll be provided quite a large amount of time, as we will go into on a later slide. There's your OSCE, your Objective Structured Clinical Examination, which is a 2.5-hour exam to determine that you are a safe injector and test that your mentoring has all been going according to plan. And finally, there is a review of your logbook. While your logbook is not marked, when it is submitted, it is checked by the exam board for completeness to ensure that all timestamps have been uploaded properly and you've been following the various rules of mentoring uploads. As part of that, we encourage our students to conduct their own logbook review where they examine for any of the small procedural problems that can come up as a result of creating a large logbook of 40 cases. Now, the question you're all likely asking is, when do I need to get ready for my exams? We run 2 exam seasons a year. We have our spring season beginning in May, so we're just running up to the start of the spring season right now. And we have our autumn season beginning in November. And one season begins as the other ends. The exam seasons are 4.5 months of study for yourselves. And during that 4.5 month period, you will complete your OSCE at a time that suits you. We'll have several dates available to book. You'll finish any last few mentoring cases. The vast majority of your mentoring will be done before your exam season. And you'll also, the most time-consuming element of your exam season will be completing your short answer questions, which are completed open book and remotely, so at your own pace, as you wish to do them. The exam seasons conclude with a month of marking when your material is reviewed by Harley Academy before it is submitted to our exam board. You might be wondering, when can I get involved on an exam season? So let me talk you through season sign-up. You can sign up for one of our exam seasons at any time in advance of the season, as long as at least 30 of your logbook cases are uploaded and you've ideally booked the rest of your logbook cases in. So right now, some students who've been on the course for a long while are getting ready to join the spring season starting in May. Whenever you want to join an exam season, you can either pop us an email and let us know that you'd like to be added to the register, or you can keep an eye out for a general call to sign up, which will be sent out every exam season. When you do sign up, you'll be sent a link to a form that looks something like what you're seeing on the screen, and you'll be able to enter a few details and be added into our exam season system. From that point, you can then, you don't need to worry about any registration information past that. You can simply focus on all of your assessments, which will be automatically emailed to you, along with any other information that you need, such as an updated copy of your student handbook or a specialized assessment guide to help you keep tabs on everything that you're doing during the exam season. Now, exams are something that lots of people see as stressful, and even people who've been working in medicine for 30 years, I routinely see entering exams feeling rather nervous, worrying about what's to come. But exams don't need to be something that's stressful or difficult. The key to making sure that your exam season is comfortable is managing your time. This comes down to 3 key points. Firstly, your deadlines, being aware of them. All of your deadlines, including the deadline for your SAQs, which is perhaps the most important, will be emailed to you at the start of the exam season, and you should keep tabs on those emails. Print them out if you wish to, keep a copy on your computer somewhere, keep those deadlines in your calendar and be aware of them well in advance. This is particularly important for the SAQs, which really do need to be completed over at least 2 or 3 months, slowly and surely. You'll receive further guidance on that, of course, when the exam season comes around. Secondly, there's extensions. If severe extenuating circumstances like illness mean that you think that you'll need another 2 or 3 weeks to complete your FAQs, we have a limited ability to offer discretionary extensions in extenuating circumstances. So you can always reach out to us. If, however, it's simply that you've run out of time and you think you won't be able to complete your exam season, you always have the option of deferral, i.e. moving your registration from one exam season to the next. Deferral is free of charge up to a deferral deadline, which is announced in each season. For the November season, it is in January, and for the May season, it is in July. So if in advance you think over the next few months, I'm not going to be able to complete these essays, you have an opportunity to defer. Deferrals past the deferral deadline, perhaps for unforeseen reasons, accrue a £75 fee, which is to cover the SAQ markers who we book in advance once the deferral deadline passes. So 3 key points to remember. I'm somewhat retreading old ground in that I'm saying what Charlie said here when I say, key thing, upload your cases. We really can't emphasize. The quality assurance team here at Harley Academy are currently in the process of running through student logbooks. And as a result of that, we're seeing a lot of issues where if a student has a problem with their logbook, 9 times out of 10, it's because they haven't uploaded a case for weeks or even months, and it's caused them to forget key details or lose key information. Uploading your cases promptly is key. Knowing your deadlines is also important. If you wish to avoid any unnecessary fees, keeping a sharp eye on your deadlines and communicating ahead of them if you think they're running out of time is key. And finally, I've said it before and I'll say it again, starting your SAQs early is a really important part of your exam season at Harley Academy. The SAQs traditionally take around 100 to 150 hours to complete. And as such, spreading that over several months with a few hours on a given day here and there is a much better approach than trying to slog it all in the last few weeks and running up against the deadline. Now, that's everything I'm going to be covering today in assessments. Do please keep your questions coming on the chat. Thank you for the lively chatter, and please rest assured we're answering the questions as soon as we possibly can. We're going to move on now to talk about a Harley Academy success story. So if you'll just bear with us for 5 seconds while we swap over presenters.
Okay, hey guys, my name is Reem and I'm the Education Administrator at Harley Academy. So I just wanted to touch on a couple of our success stories here at Harley Academy. Here is Natalie Haswell. She's one of our trainers and mentors who has actually studied the level 7 with us as well. Natalie has over 13 years experience as a prescribing nurse, working with the NHS. She then decided to study the level 7 in injectables, and now she runs her own thriving business called Haswell Aesthetics, based in Essex. There are loads of extra various workshops that we offer out to you guys that can help guide you in a successful business. On the next slide over, we've got Dr. Kalpna Pindolia. Dr. Cal is another one of our mentors and trainers who also studied the level 7 in injectables with us. Cal is an aesthetic practitioner, trainer, assessor, and GMC appraiser. Cal is our lead trainer here at the Academy. For those who have already attended their foundation day, you may have experienced some training from Dr. Kalpna as well. Now, as I said earlier, this is something that a lot of you can do as well by completing the level 7 in injectables. We offer various workshops that can guide you when opening and running your own successful aesthetic business. Unfortunately, today, Natalie and Cal are not able to be with us, but if you do have any questions, I'm sure that Marcus will be able to provide you with as much information and answers for your questions. Now, just slide over to the extra community events that we have. Now, obviously, you guys are invited to this induction webinar, and this is our welcoming to you onto the Level 7 course. A couple others that we do offer are study days and business workshops. Now, part of the benefits of being on the Level 7 are our community events. The study days cover a range of topics such as clinical seminars on the mid-face, patient retention, and how to sell your treatment. To ensure that our students get the most out of these study days, we regularly ask on the Level 7 Facebook group what topics they would like us to cover specifically. If there is anything in particular you would like us to cover on these days, please feel free to contact us or post on the Facebook group. We also provide business workshops, and business workshops are a great opportunity for you to gain some guidance on how to successfully open and run a business in aesthetics. I will state that the business workshops are not there for you to open up your business straight away, but they will provide you with as much guidance in how to do so and how to be successful with your aesthetic business. Now, I'm just going to pass you over to Parveen.
Great. Thank you very much, team. It's been very helpful having all of that information presented. And now it's time to open up the floor. Just note that we might not answer all of your questions, but there will be guidance and documentation coming your way for that. And I'll be grouping the questions based on themes that come in. So apologies if we don't answer your question right away, but we will absolutely endeavor to do as much as we can. We have about 40 minutes to answer these now. So we'll start off with the first one, which I believe is directed at Ben. How do we start SAQs? And there is a lot about SAQs, short answer questions. So Ben, take it away.
Hi, guys. I've seen 2 queries come in regarding SAQs. How do you start them, and do they get disseminated when you've signed up to an exam season? Now, they do. It's true. FAQs will only be released to you once you've started your exam season. We are unable to provide them to you early, as in order to provide you with the essays, we need to book your assessment with our exam board. Because we're an Ofqual accredited course and a nationally recognized curriculum, we have to jump through a large number of regulatory hoops, and one of those involves registering you for exam seasons formally. As such, your SAQs will be disseminated to you when you've signed up to an exam season, However, we are in the process of negotiating with the exam board for the release of past papers and old questions that can be worked through at any time. Once the current active short answer questions have been retired, they will then be available as past papers, which we're continuing to work on. When it comes to starting the SAQs, you can follow the guidance in your assessment season email. When you've signed up for the season, you'll receive an extensive email alongside PDF guidance documents, which will cover how you can begin the process. Okay, I'm just going to pass back to Carby.
Thank you, Ben. I would also like to note that throughout the exam season, once you're on it, there is plenty of guidance for both the OSCE and the webinar in the form of, the OSCE and the short answer questions in the form of webinars, much like the one you're on right now. So this is not the only time that you'll have a chance to speak with us, as well as get information from more than just an email. All right, I'll move on to the next question now. So the next one is, how often do you run business workshops and clinical seminars? So those run every 2 months. So the way we run our community events, our induction days in person are every other month. We run induction webinars, such as this one, in the months where we don't run those in-person days. So for example, this month we ran 1 clinical seminar and 1 business workshop, which means next month we'll have the month off, and the month after that we'll pick it up again. So they generally run as half days, and they run on the same day. So the morning will be a clinical seminar, and the afternoon will be a business workshop. So obviously we understand that it's hard for you to take time off work, but this is very valuable information. So we want to condense it onto one day so that you don't have to take too much time off work. So next, is there a detailed information about the student handbook regarding the observation days? The answer is yes. You will have already received a student handbook that we are currently updating and will be releasing to you in the next couple weeks with more information, more visuals, a bit more guidance as well. But as I said in the chat before, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us or to email us at studentsupport@harleyacademy.com, all one word. Lovely. So a very specific question about SAQs. What is the average word count for each question? So it's up to 800 words, between 100 and 800 words. It's different for each question because it depends on how many marks they're worth and also how much detail needs to be covered. So that's something that we recommend you focus on once you get to your assessment. At this point in time, it's important that you focus on your e-learning and signing up for your practical training. Okay, next question. Can workshops be attended and the e-learning still be accessed after completion and graduation? Absolutely yes. So the e-learning is yours to be accessed after the course. It's meant to be like a textbook that you can refer to time and time again. As for the workshops, those are absolutely open to people outside of the level 7, even right now. So you don't actually have to be on it to do the workshops. However, we do recommend that if you come on a workshop, that you have some experience injecting in a clinic, not under supervision. And the reason we say that is that when you come to the clinic day itself, really you want to learn about the technique and not as much about the clinic environment itself. That's where you're meant to learn more about that on your observation and mentoring days, whereas the workshop is very much treatment focused. So please make sure that you have enough confidence working in a clinical environment on your own before coming to a workshop. That's not to say that you're not welcome to come, but it is a different teaching environment than the observation and mentoring days. Can you have an alert of these days in advance? So things like workshops and our mentoring days are all on the website. Currently, we don't have that feature to be able to push notifications to you of when we're actually releasing those dates. We are working on it, but unfortunately, at this point in time, we do need to ask that you check back on the website. When it comes to your exam seasons, to reassure you, as Ben mentioned, there needs to be 75% completion of your logbook before you can actually sign up to the exam season. If during that exam season you're struggling to get those days, we will work with you to ensure that your cases are complete by the time you need to hand everything in. However, it is your responsibility before then to get that at least 75% done. Lovely. So the next question, do we have available dates for business workshops May, as we do understand you do have a difficult time taking time off of work. We will be announcing the May workshops in the coming weeks. Just to note that this is a newer offering from us, so we are working on the best way to get this information to you. We welcome any feedback, if that's via email or on the Facebook group. How would you best like to hear from us? We're open to hearing from you. At the moment, it will be emails, but we do understand not everyone reads all the emails. I do want to stress that if you do get something from the courses team, that it is very important that you read all of the information in there, because it has a lot of information you'll need either for your training day or how to be successful on the day itself. Okay, emails are better. Thank you. Great feedback. So do the masterclasses come as an additional charge for level 7 students? Yes, they do, because they focus on, as I mentioned before, specific treatments. In terms of the actual patients and injecting on the day, you will get to inject at least one patient for the specific treatment types. So that's coming. So the next question, are business workshops and our community events charged for? They're actually included. So events such as the Induction Webinar, as you're on, clinical study days, as well as the business workshop, those are free of charge to you. Now, just note that they are free. We book them out about 3 weeks in advance. We'll try and do that further in advance, as we do understand you're on medical rotas, and those can be difficult to organize in less time. So we are looking to do it sort of 3 to 6 weeks in advance. We'll book people on. There is also a cap, though, so we are only able to accommodate up to 25 people on those events. So we are looking to run more of them moving forward. However, just note that because you miss one doesn't mean you'll miss the content. What we tend to do is repeat the content. So, for example, the business workshop and clinical study day we ran this month, we'll be running the same content in 2 months' time. So you'll always have a way to catch up on those. All right. Next question is, what parts of the e-learning are recommended to finish before attending Mentoring Observation Day? I'll pass this on to Charlie.
Hi there, everyone. So specifically, what I'd recommend is actually a little bit of different ones for each training day. For your observation days, we're not expecting you to have gone through the entirety of the e-learning before you commence those. Obviously, if you can, then it's only going to support your learning further. But for the purposes of the observation days, we'd recommend looking through the modules on dermal filler, botulinum toxin, and any content relevant to facial anatomy. Before attending your mentoring session, so you will have done your observation days by that point, we would recommend trying to get through the entirety of the e-learning at that point. We're not expecting you to be able to recall it slide for slide, but getting a fundamental knowledge of aesthetics and the 6 modules you'll be going through will really support your learning throughout that time.
So, is it better to book observation days in different clinics if we can? That's a really great question. I'll have Charlie take this one up.
Hi there, thanks for the question. In truth, it is actually entirely up to you. So some of our learners prefer trying to book in all of their training with one trainer. Others prefer trying to get a wide range of experience from different trainers altogether. Ultimately, the reassurance you can take is that all of the trainers working for Harley Academy, they are all, of course, expert trainers themselves, but they're all trained to provide a standard of training that is sufficient to get you through the course and to teach you safe practice. So in reality, I think the majority of the students on the course will book training locations dependent on where they are and then what is available as well. So in reality, the answer is it's entirely up to you and entirely up to how you think you will learn. If you prefer to learn from one person, then you're more than welcome to book in just with one trainer throughout your course. But equally, if you'd like to book in with a number to try and get a range of experience, then you're invited to do so.
Lovely. Thank you, Charlie. So the next question is, do we get discounted masterclasses? Unfortunately, there isn't a discount for the masterclasses. However, they are very valuable tools, like we said, and they're with trainers that you won't get on your mentoring day. So it is a valuable place to get some more training that are treatment specific. So, questions all coming in. Lovely. So what is the shortest and longest time frame one can complete the course? That's a great question. So the answer to the shortest side is really up to you and the availability of training. So in an ideal world, if training was offered sort of when you were available, you technically could finish your practical training in about 6 months' time. So you start with your foundation day in month 1. Month 2, we recommend you do your observation day and some e-learning, and you do sort of 1 day or session per month for 6 months, and you'd be pretty much complete through your e-learning if you were chipping away at that, and your practical training. After you were done or close to finishing your practical training, you could sign up for your assessment season. As Ben mentioned, those assessment intakes are May and November. Now, unfortunately, we aren't able to bring people onto those seasons very late. The reason for that is that it actually does take quite a bit of time to get to the short answer questions. So as soon as you hit one of those intake seasons and you are ready and eligible, you absolutely be able to get through your assessment and finish the qualification in about a year. Now, that's the ideal, but we understand that people need extra time or have only so much time to dedicate to the course. So we do recommend between 1 year and 18 months is ideal. That includes all of your assessment as well. Okay, so if master classes occur in Currify, how often do you run clinical workshops like the mid-face, chin, jawline, IC? So just to be very clear with the terminology, when we say clinical seminar or clinical workshop, what we mean is a half day where we do a little bit of information about things like anatomy, specific injection techniques, but not on patients. There will be sometimes a bit of mannequin teaching, as well as some practice, but not on patients. The master classes, so specifically jawline, mid-face, lips, that type of thing, that is on real patients in a real clinic setting, and those do incur a fee because there is product involved, and the training is small groups. So there's no more than 5 students on those masterclass days, whereas the clinical workshops or seminars, those can be up to 25 people, and you don't actually inject patients on those days. Lovely. Okay, next question coming in. Can we join other courses whilst on the level 7, like skin rejuvenation, which we have now rebranded as cosmetic dermatology? Absolutely. You absolutely can. That is something our sales team would be happy to help you with. If you call the number that's on our website, our colleagues Bijal or Daniil will be happy to walk you through what the options are. And really, they do complement each other very well. A lot of times, so our philosophy at Harley Academy is you start with the skin and then go deeper. So cosmetic dermatology is all about the skin, and it's a really important base of knowledge to have, and is sort of where aesthetics is leaning more towards in terms of non-surgical treatment. Next, can we sign up to get some Guild Clinic treatment? Absolutely. I like your enthusiasm with the exclamation marks. We welcome our students to come to our clinics to try it. We have clinics in Liverpool, Oldham, Birmingham, as well as London, of course. London is where we do the majority of our training, but it is accessible to people around the country as well. We do recommend, if you do want to try it, obviously it is a very safe environment. You will have participated in it yourself and seen what it's about. Also, you get half price, which, I mean, that's pretty good. Where else do you get safe treatment for a very reasonable price? So we do encourage you to come on if that's something you want. Lovely. I see. So the next question, should master classes be done after the level 7 once competent? That's a good question. So some people come on to the level 7 and say they do have some experience. So whether they've done a foundation day elsewhere or some other one-day courses, some people do come to the course with experience. So if you're brand new and never done anything in aesthetics, we recommend that you at least finish your mentoring and speak to your mentors about whether they think you're suitable to come on the master classes. They're best placed to provide that information. If you're not sure, please do call up, and the sales team will happily take you through a series of questions to help see whether you're suitable or not. But like we said, it's really dependent on your ability to inject and your confidence in doing it. And as well, like we said, it's important to get some experience in a real clinic setting not in training before you come on those so that you can focus on the treatment and not just the clinic side of things. So, lovely. Thank you, Charlie, for putting that information about Guild. They are open from 9 a.m. and are open until 6 o'clock each day. Also, just to note, our treatments in London are, we have later treatments in the evening. We're open until 8 o'clock, Wednesday through Friday. So we are starting to put training on those days later as well in the coming months. So if you need a bit more time getting here, those will be available to you. Okay, next question. Controversial. Would you discourage attending other training provider courses while on the level 7? The honest answer is no. It's entirely up to you what training you do and where you feel you can get that best. We understand that there's certain topics that we don't cover or cover in depth that you might want elsewhere. For example, complications courses. That's not something that we've developed yet. It is something we are working on, and obviously that is a big part of practicing in aesthetics. So we absolutely don't discourage it. If anything, it should only supplement your learning, but we do recommend that if you are committing to the course, that you make enough time to complete your level 7 and make sure you have enough resource yourself to dedicate to the various different types of training. Lovely. So the next question, if you've attended a foundation day for Botox and filler with another course, so another foundation day, is the HA foundation day still mandatory? The answer is no. So you are welcome to attend another foundation day. There is a bit of a discount if you have attended it. You do need to speak to our sales team if you haven't already. But what we do need is a copy of that completion certificate. And I believe there's a time frame on it, but we'll have the sales team get back to us and we'll send it out in the email after this. But no, you do not have to attend our foundation day if you've attended one elsewhere and it has covered both toxin and filler. The next question is there a separate induction for cosmetic dermatology too? And e-learning, I assume that means also e-learning. So there is a separate suite of e-learning for cosmetic dermatology. I believe on our website it's still called Skin Rejuvenation. We're in the process of changing that. So there's a separate suite of e-learning, absolutely. In terms of an induction, that's something that we're working on. So we'll be sending out some paper resources or some PDF resources via email in the coming months. But for now, we have the information on our website, and you can email us if you have any questions. Okay, following on from a previous question regarding other Foundation Day courses, can things like the slide book still be available as a resource to a Level 7 Harley Academy student? That's a great question. Most of our students come on our Foundation Day, even if they have attended other Foundation Days, not because they have to, but because the philosophies can be a bit different between the two, as well as the resources. So I do, if that is something that you feel you need as a resource, please do get in touch with us at studentsupport@harleyacademy.com, and we can sort out getting you a slide book. Just note that it might not make as much sense if you're just reading the book without the context of the Foundation Day itself. And we do recommend that you come on that Foundation Day if possible. All right, and we're back. A few more questions have popped up. So you're very welcome, Rahul Patel. I hope it has been informative. Okay. How do we access the student handbook? That's a great question. There should be a link in the email that was sent to you once you signed up to the course. It's a welcome email. If you haven't got that or can't find it, please email us at studentsupport@harleyacademy.com and we'll make sure we get that out to you. Like I mentioned earlier, we're in the process of updating it. So there will be one sent out to all Level 7 students in about a month's time, no later than a month, but we're happy to send something out sooner as well. Thank you, Charlie, for putting that email address in the chat. Okay, will there be an email regarding when to commence the dermatology part of the training? That's a great question. We recommend for the cosmetic dermatology arm of the course that you start with your e-learning. There is quite a bigger knowledge base to draw from in terms of starting that. Obviously, you'll have your Foundation Day as you did with injectables, but we do recommend that you crack on with that. Do a few observation days and then start, if you haven't booked your Foundation Day, do start booking that in. And once you've attended your Foundation Day, the team will be in touch to book you for the other 2 workshops. The 2 workshops are peels related and injectables related. Okay. Next question, will the level 7 injectable course cover jaw and chin dermal fillers? So on our observation days, you will see at least 1 or 2 advanced treatments, and advanced treatments are chin and jaw dermal fillers. They do fall under that category. You won't be injecting patients in those more advanced treatments in your mentoring sessions. We focus on the basic treatments, which are the 3 areas of toxins, so the forehead, the eyes, and the frown lines. And the fillers, we do cheeks, lips, nasolabial folds, and marionette lines. So anything outside of those treatments I've just mentioned are considered advanced treatments, and you'll see some of them on the observation days, and you can learn more about them on master classes. But in our clinics, you will be doing the basic treatments, as otherwise there wouldn't be enough time to get you to learn all of them to a good standard. Okay. Are things, treatments such as hyperhidrosis, palm of the hands, taught on the level 7 course? The answer is no. They are topics that we can cover on our clinical study days, but you won't see it being done on a patient, nor will you do it on a patient. However, we do offer a new product that we're trialing, and it's a one-to-one training appointment. And what this is, there's a charge of, I believe, £250. Our sales team will give us more information. We'll pass it on to you. So once you've attended your foundation day, if you have a patient, for example, who wants hyperhidrosis, you can book in an hour training slot with one of our mentors, and they'll have a one-to-one session with you, with your patient, go through the whole consultation process and do the treatment with you. And it's not something that you'll be able to use for your logbook, unfortunately, because the cases for your logbook need to be on the face, but it is still something that you can learn. And in a one-to-one environment. So that is an option that is available to you, and we'll send more information in the follow-up email. Lovely. With foundation days for cosmetic dermatology, will they be available soon? Yes. If they're not on the website, apologies. We have had a couple bugs with that, but they will be out. I'll just pass this over to Gabrielle.
I'm just going to interject. So we do have the 17th of May currently up on the website as an available date for cosmetic dermatology. So if you are available that date, you can go onto the website once you log in and book onto that date. Roughly release dates once they're full, once a month. That's when we run them. I also do want to clarify that when it comes to cosmetic dermatology, if you are a combined student, when it comes to the injectables side of things, like Charlie mentioned, you can book your observation days and your mentoring sessions through the website. But for the cosmetic dermatology side of things, just for the time being, you can book your foundation day through the website as normal. But for the workshops, which is the pills workshop and the injectables workshop, I will personally reach out to you with an email on how you can book onto those specifically.
Lovely, thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, I was just saying, some of the students asking about more advanced treatments such as hyperhidrosis and even chin and jawline. Things like the lower face workshops cover the chin and jawline, but other treatments like hyperhidrosis and some of the more, I suppose, unique treatments you can do with toxin, they might not be covered on the level 7, but as Parveen said, you can organise the one-to-one days, but also feel free to get in touch with me as well in regards to sort of some advice about going ahead and doing those treatments. From an insurance point of view, you don't have to have a course, for example, to be able to offer hyperhidrosis treatments. It's more about understanding and being competent to do so. So once you become competent in using it for facial cosmetic reasons, you'll actually be able to understand how you might use it for other treatments such as hyperhidrosis. However, I will mention treatments such as hyperhidrosis, when you're treating a medical indication, these treatments must be done in a CQC registered premises, and that makes it quite difficult when you're first starting out. I think apart from that, really, I just really encourage all you guys to log on to your social media channels. The Level 7 Facebook group, I can't stress enough how important it is to get the most from your course, really. It helps us to be able to engage with you the most we can, and actually we're looking soon about migrating that online forum onto our own platform as well, and that's something we're going to be moving forward with. But at the moment, Facebook's the best thing we have for now. So here, just on the slides, you can see these are our community spaces, so our platforms, and the blog posts as well, which you saw a few examples of earlier. So, as I said before, if you are interested in getting involved more in the sense of potentially writing some articles, have interesting ideas that you might want to put forward to us, we can help you do that. Some of our previous practitioners that have gone on to become trainers for us, for example, have really benefited from having blog posts, because we have quite good traffic to our website. So if you have got your own website for your clinic business, it's always great to be able to educate your patients and showing that you're actually part of, you're publishing your own work and you're having articles. It's a really, really nice way to show your patients that you're at the forefront of the industry and regulation. So we can help drive traffic to your website as well. And there's a lot of things we can do around marketing involved in blog posts. So feel free to get in touch with me. And like I say, anything, whether it's clinical, business, aesthetics, anything, get in touch with me as your kind of first point of contact if you need help, and I can always signpost you onto the right direction. So my email address is, as I said before, marcus@harleyacademy.com. And that's everything really, Parvin, from my point of view.
Yes, so thank you very much. We have a few more questions that have come in about saving on Facebook, but it seems to be answered there. Thank you very much for your time. And as we mentioned many times throughout the webinar, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch at studentsupport@harleyacademy.com. We are here Monday to Friday, unless it's a bank holiday, from 9:30 till 5:30 each day. And we are looking to engage with your student body more often as well on places like our Facebook group. So do watch out for us there as well. Thank you again for your time. We really appreciate you coming and getting a leg up on your course by understanding the structure and getting to know the team a bit. We do look forward to welcoming you on your first day, be it your foundation day or a mentoring session or observation day if you've already started with us. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a lovely evening.